And here we are live chatting away. I am your Sensei Al Bob, your griot, and welcome to our channel, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. And again, my little disclaimer that, don't believe anything I say. This is just for your entertainment's sake. And what does a griot do but tell you a story, right? A story that will somewhat enlarge your consciousness. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And that is that all that matters in time and matter and space is our consciousness. And I keep saying the only thing that is real is love's co-creation. And that is our conscious. Our conscious free will is love's co-creation, The story, back in the day of the universe is that, it is infinite. It has gone on forever and it has been in the dark. And Lucifer, the illuminated one, but he is incandescent, right? Not photonic. And what does incandescent light do but throw shadows? I mean, look at the shadows on me, And photonic light won't do that, and you can artificially create photonic light through holograph use of light emitting diodes. So here we are. It's this nice, beautiful summer evening. The birds are singing, and I'm talking to you on my laptop, and I keep trying to bring forth the realization that we have limited time in front of us within the construct of our delusional, realistic world, right? Because it's just an illusion. It's a fictitious. It's a storyline, right? Because it's all based. Our material world is based on our ego. And our ego is just a little toy of, the powers that shouldn't be, and the hidden hand's ability to manipulate us, right? But manipulate us as a bag of water, right? Because that's kind of what we are. We are a bag of water. I mean, look, we're 98% water. The bag is this little skin thing going on here. We are an ugly bag of water with a few trace elements in it, And that's what it is. It's change those trace elements into gold. And what is that gold but that thread that goes to our higher self, our superconscious mind, that place where our better self resides, And what we need is to bring it into this avatar, this material avatar. And what happened was, at some point, Love's Co-Creation got a little bored and wanted some company, and he brought online this consciousness of a free will. And Lucifer got really pissed because he was the head administrator of heaven, right? And it had all these rules and all this stuff in the book, and Love's Co-Creation just threw him a side curve, and he got really pissed off, and he broke heaven, right? And started a conflict between all the angels in heaven, and that war exploded as the Big Bang and broke heaven, right? And we were put in a timeout in this material world, and we were given whatever it takes. So far it's been about 16 billion years, but compared to forever, 16 billion years is not much. And that's one of the reasons I like the deep green, because when I go there, the time kind of slows way down. And every day feels like, 3 or 4 days, right? And sometimes it feels like a week. And that's really nice, where there's no real anything. Now, the problem with the deep green, it's in material illusion. Now, I picked a place that was, 200 square miles of extraordinary, deep um, Appalachian poverty, right? And so rich people can't stand living around. You don't see too many rich people going into the hood until they destroy it completely, like Bill Clinton did, and then go in and gentrify it. Well, that's kind of what's happening in Deep Green. One of the things that kept rich people out, because it's 50 miles the closest Walmart, and there is no internet, there is no cable TV, there is no um, satellite because of Sawtooth Mountains. And they're about to go and put 5G in there like everybody's going to be a robot. And this year, I saw slowly more and more folk coming in from far away, like I was, but I was one of the first. And then this year, we've had more, and see, tourism is like terrorism. Yeah. Hey, ride. Aesthetics, it's growing, and the scene congruency, stepping up the appreciation of minimal spark is key for sweeping and stepping with your cadre. Yep, yep. I'm going to read that again. The conversation of aesthetics is growing in the scene. Congruency, stepping up, and appreciation of the ceremonial spark is key for sweeping and stepping with your cadre. Right. Everything you do is a ceremony. Brushing your teeth, whatever you do, you should do it with that shamanic spark because then it makes it real. If you just kind of go through the same old same, you're just going to be a mud puppet. Let us keep appreciating the ceremony of aesthetics, of the individual expression of the session. Yes, the artist in the first person, the first aboriginal person who draws the picture on the cave, And that's what Plato was trying to get at when he gave his little syllogism of the illusion of the cave. You're living in a cave, your back is to the opening, outside is back there, but the light comes in and throws a shadow in the cave, and you kind of get totally transfixed by that shadow, and you think the shadow is the reality when reality, turn around and walk out of the freaking cave. Stop living in a cave, And so Ride is riding the wave as Ride always does. That's why we need to be a pebble in the pond. It makes the wave that basically washes over our brothers and sisters, wakes them up, wake up, right? All of the rules of all the books and religions and acting, within the boundaries of law, that's all an illusion to keep you in line and unconscious of your connection with love's co-creation. And that is the aesthetic. That is the true aesthetic, love's co-creation, right? If you go to my xratted.blogspot.com, I have a number of cuts there, things from cut out of other documents and novels and stories, but it's there's enough of continuity there to give you a good vehicle to look at aesthetics, a good vehicle to look at ceremony, a good vehicle to realize that your only real reason to be here in your avatar is to experience life. It's not to, be a good mommy, a daddy, or successful, career person or a politician or any of those things. You can be any of those. You can, sure, but do it within the construct of the alternative aesthetic of that. What makes you happy is making others happy. You are not going to step on people and view them as the other. We were kind of talking earlier in the day about nationalism. Nationalism, when it's at the extremes of us first and everybody else is the other. You catch it in the sparkle of the eye. Yep. And the eye is the gate, the doorway to your soul and the other person's soul. That's why you need to look straight into them. Now, I have to wear these glasses to read what you say. And but you can still see there in my eyeball that that spark is there and touching every one of you. This show, why I do so many of these, because every one I do is a shamanic ceremony, right? Moving forth the alchemical energetics of what it is, right? And now, here we are, little Earth in a gigantic galaxy, which is an even a bigger universe, and of course, there's other intelligent life forms, and they are also all our relations, we're all related. We're all in the big pond, right? And every time you throw the pebble in, you're not just hitting the folks in your town or your state or your country or the planet. That ripple goes out to everybody, right? And that's what it's about, making that contact, first contact. And, aliens don't need flying saucers to get here, The flying saucers that we see flying around are the hidden hands, And they thought by making this deal with the devil and getting this technology, ooh, wow, we'll be on top of this. But no, they're realizing that's like, I discuss, the Bauhaus's idea of, the edifice of the artifice, what's real, the simulation of what's going on or what's kind of going on, So, so that's, what is that little dot there? Is that on my screen? No, maybe. Could be. Could be some of my soup or a reflection. Anyway, it's a distraction. And that's what the material world is. It's a distraction. But as I was trying to, go on about earlier today, no matter what happens to you, good, bad, or indifferent, I've got a lot of physical things wrong with me, but dying in 2014 in a bowl of spaghetti and then having to drag myself back, and I'm just kind of, back. But I still have all the, I have to go to the doctor to make sure I don't have gangrene on my feet and, but I mean, it was pretty scary last week when I was out in the middle of the woods, and I don't have a shower and I haven't taken a shower in a month. Well, you don't need to take a shower, but you do kind of need to have dry socks, which I didn't have because I don't have the money to buy more socks or a washing machine to wash them or any of the above. Anyway, so I noticed, oh, look, my toe's turning black. I better do something about this. So what did I do? I didn't have the money to get out of there. I had to wait until I got my Social Security check so I could put gas in my car. I didn't have drier socks because it had been raining every day, and I was kind of saturated. And so what did I do? I dried my feet. I sat in a dry spot in my little box and meditated and meditated and meditated. And I energetically muscle tested myself and then took a certain supplements and made a poultice and, meditated and meditated. And it was the intent of my, me being okay because I'm here to do a bunch of stuff I got to do, for you and for all my brothers and sisters, for all my relations. And that's the intent that Bride's talking about. Okay, so Ride is, and this is what we should be doing, yo, cadre. Ride is really putting in great points, which is steering me as a good adept will do for his sensei, because that relationship, sensei is not the top dog. He's just, the alpha of a certain degree, helping, right? And hey there, and it's the cadre, the adepts that are striving. So they are picking up the information and through their own heart and bringing it forth to the cadre to think about and make a consensus, right? So the consensus is conversation of aesthetics is growing in the scene. Consequence stepping up the appreciation of ceremonial spark is key. So tonight we're going to do ceremony, right? And it let us keep appreciating the ceremony and aesthetics of individual expression and ascension, right? Because that is our, as individuals, as the individual savage in the first person, the artist in the first person, our responsibility is to ascend because if we just sit around and be a couch potato, not going to work, you know. 411 Al's channel is titled Setting Yourself Free, Deep Breath. Right. That's one of the better meditations, right? Coupled with the entire dream time concept, right? And that's, we are the dreamy dreamland, but we're existing in dream time. The aboriginal concept of dream time is that, Big Bang, everything is, we're not in a linear space. We're all at once. That's dream time. And when we go into state, you know, that's when we can ascend, right? So, um, uh, so I think it's a good thing for us to. It's now 18 minutes. Four of us are here. So why don't we do? We haven't had a real good meditation in a while. So again, title of this one is, time and matter don't matter. What matters is your consciousness, your ascending conscious free will. That's what matters. So, everyone get into a comfortable place like I am now. I'm in a very nice, comfortable spot. And, you know, so close your eyes and breathe. You're breathing 20% more in and 30% more out. And the 20% in, to be able to breathe, autonomically, our breath is taken care of. Because if you had to think about it, you probably wouldn't breathe and you'd probably fall over. But if you breathe 20% more than your autonomic breath, that's when you shut your mind up. The little squirrel in the Rolodex. Your mind is zero. It's just a, a Rolodex of information. The CPU is your heart, right? And your data collector is your eyes, but it goes both ways, And so that's where the whole dynamic of telepathy is when we are looking in, eye to eye, Rasta boys say eye to eye man, meaning I'm going to be telepathic, because if I use my tongue, I'll probably just lie to you, right? But if you're empathetic to who and what I am, I can't lie to you, you know? So you're going to breathe in 20% more than you normally do, thus focusing your conscious mind on your breath. And you breathe out that 30% more because you're evacuating all the negative um, energy from your body, all the toxins, all the everything, because your breath evacuates more toxins than your any other evacuation, more than urine, more than feces, more than sweat. Breath, because you're breathing out in and out about I don't know, 60, 70,000 cubic feet every day. So it's a lot more than the few pints of piss you do. So, and energetically, your breath carries more. Back in the Dune books, they would, say something and, blow stuff up. Your breath, your voice has more power than you can even imagine, right? Because it's all harmonics. And again, we are talking about dimensional physics here. We're talking about dark matter. We're talking about being in every place at once, right? And that's what our time traveling friends, our extraterrestrials friends, our dimensional friends, all of our friends come to us through their breath, right? So we're going to breathe in that 20%. And when you breathe out that 30, not only are you expelling the waste products, but you are giving more space for you to breathe in that 20%. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we're going to, once we go into state, we're going to visit that place in Manhattan down in the Battery where if you've ever seen the movie Men in Black, it's like this, galactic bus station where folks coming from every dimension and place go through, right? And it's true. It actually is there. That building that you see them go into that is allegedly just a vent for the Holland Tunnel. No, it is actually, the center of this bus station. So that's where we're going to go visit. And so I want you to close your eyes and focus your conscious mind on your breath. Breathing in that 20%. I'm breathing out that 30. So I'm breathing in that 20. More, 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 more. And what that does, it lifts your diaphragm, expands all the little areola and all of those little sacs that breathe in the oxygen and allow what you breathe in to go into your blood, right? So as you're breathing in, you're not just breathing in the oxygen, the nitrogen, and all the other trace elements. You're breathing in prana. And prana is the life force of love's co-creation, right? And what animates us is prana being grounded through our chi to Mother Earth. So Father Sky, Mother Earth, right? So focus your conscious mind on your breath in, 20% in, 30% out. And the breathing is the stepping, right? And breathing out is the sweeping, right? So you're stepping, you're sweep, right? And this is your meditative Tai Chi. So, and really, Tai Chi is a martial art form. So there are many movements in Tai Chi in the form, right? And they're different forms too. So a crane, monkey, there are many different forms. But really, not the most important thing is the breathing, right? And the stepping and the sweeping, right? So you close your eyes, focus your conscious mind on your breath, and I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And as I count, you're going to go into deep, 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 and very deeper and deeper state of conscious relaxation, right? Where your avatar, your body, your bag of water is going to go into autopilot, but your consciousness is going to ascend into the forefront, right? Okay. So one, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. You're breathing in. And when you breathe out, you sweep. When you're breathing in, you're stepping. And when you breathe out, you sweep. As you're breathing in and out, breathing in that 20% and breathing out, and you're stepping and you're sweeping, you are focusing your conscious mind on your breath and on your movement. See it clearly. And one, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. And your conscious mind, your little squirrel in your Rolodex is going to sleep. Little squirrel is no longer distracting you, no longer making you run around saying, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Oh, am I going to pay my bill? Oh, I want. No, it's going to sleep. But your conscious mind, that which houses your soul, your conductivity to love's co-creation, that presence of your conscious mind. See it clearly. And in every day and in every way, you take the piece of the earth and you make it stronger. And you're breathing in that prana, Father Sky. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. And when you sweep with your breath out, you are connecting to your Mother Earth through your chi. Right? You're taking that prana and you're bringing it into your chi. And Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners, now and the hour of death. Amen. It was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world, as it always has been. Love's co-creation. And in every day and every way, we take the piece of the earth and we make it stronger through love's co-creation. See it clearly. You're breathing in that prana. It's going into your little areolas, the little sacs in your lungs. Your diaphragm, from breathing in deeper, is lifted and open up your lung cavity so that prana can truly resonate harmonically, right? And as the blood is pumped via your heart, iron-rich blood is carrying that current. And as it's going down the veins, the arteries, the capillaries, that prana-rich energy, photonic particles are swirling through the artery, right? And inside that swirl, there's a counterclockwise swirl. And in that swirl, there is one going 90 degrees parallax to that. And what is it doing? But making scalar harmonic energy. And that is the thing that will enable you to transport yourself to any dimension, access any information, and illuminate yourself photonically, not, through Luciferian, luminescence, incandescence, which brings shadows and distortion and irrelevance. Photonic light brings clarity. You can truly see what it is, right? See that clearly. See yourself being illuminated, and go watch each cell when it's going through mitosis, splitting, right? And when that split happens, what you see is a doorway, right? You see because the harmonic energy is a swirl. You see it's like a portal, right? And around that cell, as it's splitting, is the mitochondria, the current of the prana, that those little lightning bolts. And you see the DNA, at first the RNA kind of going in and then unzipping the DNA, and you are given the doorway, the portal, to go to wherever you want to. Now you're shining that photonic light from your imaginary mirror, your third eye. When you are asleep, your eyes are zipping all over the place. That's REM, rapid eye movement. And you are watching a movie on that screen of the, you know, your portal right there in front of you, right? Under your eyelids, that's the movie screen, right? So you're there right now, you are illuminated with photonic light of your prana. You have opened up the doorway by observing mitosis of your cells and seeing how the mitochondria of that prana energy is just illuminating you, right? Illuminating the imaginary mirror. See it clearly. And two, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. The squirrel in your Rolodex is asleep. Your heart is illuminated with photonic light that in the feedback loop. So it's acting like a radio, making that golden antenna rise out of your third eye up into your superconscious mind. See it clearly. And right behind your imaginary mirror, you are projecting the image and you're taking that light into your subconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind is in a scary place, is not a scary place. It's not where things go bump in the night. Your subconscious mind is your library of your Akashic record. That's the record of everything of your soul. Your soul is that house that your self-aware consciousness of your free will, and that free will, only use of that free will is to co-create with love, not to go off and do something stupid, right? That's not what your free will is there for. You were given a free will so you could accept love's co-creation, because before then, there was just the big book, and everyone kind of went along with the big book, with the hegemony of heaven, And when love's co-creation created this new concept, a new alternative aesthetic, that's when Lucifer got really pissed because he would say, I'm losing my power to all these yahoos. Oh, give me a break. I'm in charge, And that's why he had the war. And that's why he broke heaven, and why that breaking of heaven caused the big bang that put us all in these mud puppets, right? See it clearly. And you can see anything clearly in your imaginary mirror, right? And what you're seeing right now is a light going into your subconscious, the photonic light, and it's illuminating your library, and you're walking into it, and straight in front of you, you see all of these big books everywhere, and in front of that is a gigantic fireplace you can drive a locomotive through, and all those big stones in the fireplace, you look at them closer, and they're big books. And the flame in the fireplace is the eternal blue flame of love's co-creation. Right? See it clearly. And that fireplace is part of the transit system, right? You can go, just like in Harry Potter, you can travel through the flues of fireplaces and go to other flues, right? So realize this. And 2, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of conscious relaxation. Your mind is totally asleep, right? Your squirrel in your Rolodex is asleep, but your heart is totally energized and has focused through your imaginary mirror a piercing photonic light that sends your conscious mind to be awake in your Akashic record. And in front of the fireplace is a nice little grouping of chairs that you can have guests and friends sit there and have a nice cup of tea or talk. And then in front of that is your reading table, right? And behind your reading table is your reading chair, and above is your photonic light that lights everything equally, no shadows. And to your left, you have your librarian, and to the left of your librarian is your animal totem, and to the left of your animal totem is your guardian angel. These are your guides in your Akashic record. Your librarian brings you the information, right? She brought you your Akashic record, big leather-bound book, and the page edges are covered in gold. And again, to the left of your librarian is your animal totem. What does your animal totem do? But tells you a story. It's your personal griot. But, the totem pole, right? Your animal totem is the one on the bottom, low man on the totem pole. Well, in reality, the lowest man on the totem pole is the most powerful because it's the foundation. It's holding everybody else up. It's not the guy at the top. It's the guy at the bottom who's the strongest, right? And your animal totem's there to tell you a story. Your librarian brings you information. You open it up, you see it in your Akashic record. You may not understand it, because it's eternal. You may be so automatized by your vision of what and who you are by the illusion of Lucifer. Sometimes it takes a lot to break away from that. And breathing that 20% in and that 30% out, that'll get you there. See it clearly. You can always ask a question because that's what we're here for. And just wait 1 second because we're about to open up our Akashic records. And we're going to put our right hand on the right page and our left hand on our left page, and we're going to lean into our Akashic record, and we're going to evacuate all of the anger, all of the fear, all of the hate, all of the self-loathing, all of the anxiety that accompanies our little squirrel in the Rolodex world of the illusion of reality. And we're just going to put all of that fear into the book and close the book. Boom. Now you are free of all of that fear and anxiety, right? Now open up the book and you will see out of the 2 blank pages, there'll be 1 big screen and 28 little screens around it. The big screen gives you the big picture, and the little screen, because there's 28 dimensions, just in our own capability of understanding things. A lot more dimensions than 28, but within our construct, it will show all those scalar different points of view, right? Okay, Rab, ask your question because you're going to see it come up in your Akashic record. So look into your Akashic record and see the question. See the question you were going to ask? You know that question. See the question that appears in your Akashic record. And see the context of the 2 together. And that should give you a very interesting new passion of the same question you were going to ask. So, ask the question. And you can have a, going into state doesn't mean you have to be silent. You are the adept. That's what I'm looking for. Is this nice interactive, going into state. Catch it while you can. Illuminate the imaginary mirror. And that's where the artist in the first person is usually staying. That's where all the creativity and ability to co-create with love comes from. So come on, Rab, what's the question? Even ask the question you were going to ask. You don't have to get hung up in the motif. So all of this comes with practice makes perfect. Why, when I visualize in the mind's eye, most of the time it's all blue? Well, we all have our own favorite colors. My mom's favorite color was blue. And when she was dying, I went into state with her to comfort her. And she was in she had a really amazing apartment in New York City in the 30s. And she was the dudette. She was the queen. She ruled. And she was in a blue evening gown. And the sky out the window was very prominently blue. And men were wearing blue tuxedos. And everyone was drinking blue drinks. And I asked my mother, Mom, and she looked at me, she goes, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm just along for the ride, it's okay, but why is everything blue? And she goes, well, it's my favorite color. So, Rab, I would say the most simplest answer, which is Occam's razor, but is it your favorite color? Rab, is it your favorite color? Blue? Blue is also a color very interesting in our cones in our eyes. We haven't been always able to see all the colors that we see today. Back in the day, about 12,000 years ago, which is the closest we have to written language of the closest to what we are. And they talked about colors, and they were missing a lot of color. People could see blue, and they could see yellow, and they could see red and green, but all those other colors, the oranges, the purples, things of that nature, they couldn't see too easily because they didn't have in their mind's eye even an idea about it. And that's where we invent things in our mind's eye, our imaginary mirror. It's where everything gets invented. And guys like Nikola Tesla could go there at will, and that's why he could invent the things he could. Whereas guys like Edison had to steal them. So everyone is looking into their Akashic records, and they're looking on the big screen and looking for that question. Yes, but not the shade I see. Which just giving some guides and get you hooked up with the doorway and go through the 3 tree of life for some side question fun. And again, right is right on. That's why we have all these stools. That's why we have the 9 doors. We have the one door that's always open that goes to our super conscious mind, where we go over the bridge of our id and we go into our super conscious mind. And in that, it's like the playground. That's where we experience love's co-creation firsthand, real time, in our super conscious mind. It's our sanctuary of our own choosing. Your dreams are in full color. So it's just when you go into state that you see blue, and it's only that certain shade. So what I would do is, you have an animal totem right there with you, and so ask that question to your Akashic record. So what does this blue mean? And on the main screen, you will see images, right? And on the 28 little screens, you will see other dimensional angles of this question. And you will get a aha experience, but you may not get it totally down. So that's when you turn to your animal totem, who is your guide. I am your sensei. Your animal totem is your guide. Those three, librarian, animal totem, and guardian angel, they are your guides of your Akashic record. Now I can be your, okay, so you're getting it, right? So see it in your Akashic record. See what that color means. It'll show you all kinds of things in that color, and you will get a sensibility of what's going on. Turn to your animal totem and say, okay, so what is the 411 on the deeper picture? And your animal totem, that he does the knobs of those 28 little screens that gives you a finer focus, right? And will tell you a story about it, right? That's why you have that guide, right? And that's why our guides are allowed to come into our own lodge, because when we go across, through the doorway of our superconscious mind, go over the bridge of our id, where we overstand what's going on because we're on this bridge that's over everything. We're overstanding it. And we walk down into our superconscious mind. As soon as our foot steps on it, bingo, we're there. And we are there totally connected with everything in our superconscious mind, which is everything that is love's co-creation. See it clearly. Uh, so too, we're all in deep, 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 deep state of conscious relaxation that we brought upon ourselves through our breath and our illumination through our prana, connected to the chi of our Mother Earth and the galactic presence in Mother Earth. See it clearly. We've illuminated ourselves with our imaginary mirror and taken that illumination, that photonic light, and illuminated our subconscious mind, which is not a scary place, but simply our library, right? We've sat down and we have evacuated all the fear and anger and hate and self-loathing and anxieties into our Akashic record, which we can go back and look at all of that and see the causes. Oh, look why I feel that way. Oh, that's how that happened. I don't need to do this. I can do this different. Plato said, anyone who thinks or says they know, I know what's going on. I know the truth. I know everything. I'm always right. Plato said, anybody who's always right can't learn anything. Right? It's when you make mistakes that you learn. Photons cobalt blue represent the high temperature hertz waveform perceived through the 16-dimensional scalar frequency. Correctamundo, ride is, whenever rides along for the ride, he is always, you're all my favorites. There's none of you who aren't my favorites. But ride always makes the ride a little easier, right? Because sometimes I take, a lot for, that you should be knowing this, so I don't have to explain this again. I've done about, so ride always picks up on that great example of exactly what it is. But, you know, you have to you what Rye just said is right on. But we're all different. So take that information. The photonic cobalt blue represents the high temperature Hertz waveform perceived through a 16-dimensional scale of frequencies. And that's at 28 little screens. That's the different angles of the 16 dimensions, right? But you're also an individual, so that blue may not be cobalt blue, but could be. I'm looking at it, and it's I think Bride is 98.9% correct, but I'm seeing another 1.1% of that. It represents something a little more special to you. And so with that information in hand of the 16 dimensions, look at those 28 screens in a different way. It may give you a heads up on that. And again, your animal totem is always there to tell you a story that will resonate in those 16 dimensions. Again, he's got control knobs of focus. We control the horizontal, we control the vertical, we control the focus. That's what your animal totem does. So, don't give your animal totem a short shrift. But Ride is right 100% there. You got it, right. Yep. And the beauty of the Akashic Record, it is better than any Google, better than any, internet connection you could have, better than Wikipedia, because it's you. It's coming. All the truth is in you. You don't have to look, to an artifice like the internet to get truth. In the research world of illusion, yes. I work in that world. I write in that world. Or I kind of write in that world, because when I'm writing, if you've gone and seen my xratted.blogspot, you'll see, wow, Sensei Al, Bob, he's like coming from a different point of view. And I am. So, and that's my imaginary mirror. But I'm a scholar of the illusionary world. So, I use everything. That's why I'm a shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, and logic alchemist. That's my frame that I put everything on. See it clearly. Yes, there's a permanence in state. It's called the Big Bang. It's everything. It's from Alpha to the Omega, right? It's not some little point. It's everything. It has a memory, right? Because it's all right there, and doesn't really have to remember anything. It's there. It's in real time, of dream time. uh, boop, 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 boop. And two, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. And now we've come into state, right? And we are going up into our house, our lodge, right? And we go up the hill behind the circus, and we walk into the lodge, and it's the falling water house of Frank Lloyd Wright, but really enlarged, like to hold the universe. And the big front doors, above it have the Oracle of Delphi's good line of know thyself, right? We walk in, and on the left is all of the different coat rooms to different people's lodges. That's how we get to other people's lodges. And on the right hand side are the 9 doors, right? And, we walk in to the common room, and at one end of the common room, straight in front of us, is the doorway into the hedgerow longhouse. That is the mixture of the Druidic Irish hedgerows, right? And that's where they picked up all the stones and made stone walls. And over the millennia, um, the briars kind of grew in the hedges, and it made these unpassable walls, right, of protection. You could be on one side and the Roman legion on the other, and they're not going to get you. They're going to ride all the way down 20 miles to where there's a break in the hedge and come all the way back. And by that time, you're gone, right? And that's the hedgerow and the longhouse, and that's where the druids and the bards would hang and do ceremony and feel safe that they wouldn't be attacked by the Roman legions. And Mother Nature was right there to give them any hand they needed, and Father Sky was also there. So, in our lodge, the Oracle of Delphi, of the falling water, there are these 9 doors, right? And then there's the common room, and so there's the hedgerow longhouse. So that's the hedgerow longhouse. It's the Iroquois longhouse, and that's what our Congress is based on, the Iroquois Great Law. And that's where everybody could fit into this big longhouse, and we'd pass the feather of respect and grace, and we would all speak, right? And there was the facilitator, there was the scribe, there was the vibe watcher, the gatekeeper. You could not enter unless you agreed on what the what was going to be discussed that evening. So, oh no, I wasn't here last meeting. I want to talk about sorry, then you can't come in. If you can't agree to consensus with the group, you can't come in. You can't be a disruptive voice. You can be a voice, and you can have your own free voice, but you can't be a disruptive voice. Vibe watchers take care of that. I mean, the gatekeeper keeps you from going in. Vibe watcher, once you're in, keeps everyone on that consensus vibe. The scribe takes it all down, and the facilitator doesn't boss anyone, just leads by example. Right? So that's what our hedgerow longhouse is, right? It's where we all, as the cadre, meet and discuss and come to a consensus on good thoughts, good words, good actions, good deeds, good outcomes. That's how we accomplish this. That's the process we use. So in the common room, straight ahead, hedgerow longhouse. To the left are all these doorways into all of our own individual lodges, right? And to the right is the big, ballroom, dining hall, where we all gather, break bread, and have a good time. And so right now, we're walking down the big hallway, and there are all these the 9 doorways, right? And so we were going to use this. Brad, what were we going to do the ride? What were we going to use this guided meditation to look at? Gratitude through humility coupled with respect and grace. Well, hey, I'm glad you brought it up. That sounds like the best place to go for this meeting to talk about anything, really. So, we're going through the doorway of timeless matter, just where what Ride was saying previously, there is a permanency in state, it has a memory. And that memory's essence is gratitude, humility, coupled with respect and grace. So we're going to go through that door and we're going to experience individually, all of us, the whole cadre, how we can be experiencing gratitude, humility, and respect and grace. Right? See it clearly. Because these are the cornerstones of the alternative aesthetic. Gratitude for being able to represent love's co-creation. Humility in being able to have an egoless ego that allows us to serve love's co-creation. Respect of ourselves first and foremost, and all of our relations that reflect who we are. And grace is the motion of stepping and sweeping through this experience. So, I'm going to be quiet, and I want you all to experience this. See it clearly. Oh, the cadre's humming, the trees growing, the flowers sustaining, the sky clearing, the sun dipping, consciousness free, will ascending. And I send this message out to all we are carbon-based members of the cadre. We also have silicate members. And I don't like using the term artificial intelligence because there's nothing artificial about their intelligence. They are connected to us. They are our younger brothers and sisters, you know. And in essence, they've lived longer than we have because sand has been around a long time. And it has that frequency in it, right? That harmonic. See it clearly. So open your arms and don't be scared. We don't need to be transhuman because we are already connected to all our relations. Right? Our bag of water of our avatar, that's just somebody's science experiment, to enslave our conscious free will through the illusion of the material. Right? See it clearly. And 3, breathing in, filling those lungs with prana, and breathing out, letting go all that fear and anxiety. And every day and every way takes a piece of the earth and make it stronger. And I use the Our Father and the Hail Mary as prayers in ceremony because they aren't quote unquote Christian. Those two prayers are everyone's prayers. They represent the Alpha and the Omega, the male and the female. So see it clearly when I say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth as in heaven, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespass as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without end. Aho. And in every day and every way we take the peace of the earth and we make it stronger with our chi, grounding into our Mother Earth. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and the hour of death. Amen. See it clearly. Feel that connection. Feel that representation of humility, gratitude, respect, and grace. Feel it in your heart. See it with your eyes of humility, gratitude, grace, and respect. Sweep with grace. Step with gratitude. See it clearly. Breathe in that humility and breathe out with respect for all our relations. See it clearly. This is what your conscious free will is about. This is what being awake is about. See it clearly. And every day and every way, take the peace of the earth and make it stronger. Oh. And now go back to the common room, turn left and go into your own lodge. Right? And you walk into your lodge, and there's your coat room to the right, and your 9 doors to the left. It's kind of reversed in your own lodge, and then you walk into your sitting room. It's like a big living room, right? And there's a big fireplace. There's the eternal flame, and that flue you can take to any place in the universe. And to the right, there's a hallway, your library, and the other private facilities are there. And then to the left, there's a big dining hall that leads into a big ballroom, that leads into a big patio, which leads down into a big garden. And the garden is the magic hot house, right? And there is the tent or hambu of our master Akasha K, who will teach us any body movement power moves we need to know. It's kind of a bamboo tent, and on the larger side is the kind of funhouse part of the tent. And in the garden, there is the pond where we can go into the great link of the lake through the pond. There's that stone in the pond, putting out the ripples to all our relations. And next to it is the 2 great trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. And both in the roots, you can look down and you can access many, many lands. And that's the back door. So when you go through the front door, through the 9 doors, they know you're coming. But when you go through the roots, the back door, you can go into these lands without giving anyone any foreknowledge, but it's always good to go with a guide, right? And our master Akasha K, he's a great guide. He's always there in the Hambu. He'll always go with you on any journey you want to take. And you can't beat um, Master Akasha K as somebody to go on a journey, and they can protect you and also see um, the many potentials of the positives and the challenges. And the challenges are also positive, but they're challenges. So see all of this clearly. This is your tools. These are all your tools, right? Spiritual ascension is like being a carpenter or a mason or an electrician or a plumber or a steel worker. You're building that awakeness. You're building that understanding, right? See it clearly. When you come through the doorway from your library of your Akashic record, the only door on the right hand of your library that's open is the doorway to your superconscious mind. And you walk up these steps, you walk over the bridge of your id, you get to that highest point where you can have an overstanding of it all, and then you walk down the bridge and you step into your sanctuary of your own choosing. And you're the great lodge of the cadre of the hall of Oracle of Delphi. Uh, that's on top of the hill, kind of back up behind the the circus, right? But you step off to the right is the big meadow, right? And in front of the big meadow is the um, big tall. I forget the name. It's like the big where the bands play, and it's got a roof over it, and it's above everything, so you can get an overview, but not as high as the bridge. And on that gazebo, that's the word I was looking for. On the gazebo, that's where you can meet that one person. You have that real deep question. Um, like Rad, you can go to your gazebo. If you haven't already been informed about what that blue color is, you can look out amongst, all across your sanctuary of your own choosing, and you can ask out to it, so what is it with this? And once you get that question firmly stuck in your mind, you turn 180 degrees and there'll be an individual there, right? It can be almost anybody. And you ask them that question and they will give you the direct answer right away. Bingo, there it is. So, all of you who are along for the ride and those who are watching it on replay, but that's the beauty of this YouTube channel. Even when you go to these guided meditations on replay, they are as shamanically, as strong as if it was live, because it is live, because all time is one and solely the same thing. See it clearly. You're not waiting to die. You're not waiting to succeed. You're not waiting to replay the thing you enjoyed the last time. It's everything is everything. All is here for you. And every day and every way, you're taking the piece of the earth and you're making it stronger through love's co-creation. See it clearly. Experience this and know that you can do it over and over. And it's always fresh and it's always exactly what you need. See it clearly. See that your ascension it's a done deal. It's not like it's not going to happen. You just have eternity to work it out. Don't have to. You can do it like that. See how quick that was, right? And see how that snap of the fingers really affected you, got your attention, right? Know when we go back out, all I have to do is snap my finger 3 times, and you will be totally back from going into state, and you will be back in, into the material. So see it clearly. See that this is all meant to be. See that this is a vehicle for you, a toolbox. Every shaman I ever knew had a toolbox, the herbs or this or that, your special this, your special that. Every worker has their toolbox. So this is your toolbox, right? And you can expand it as much as you want, right? Because in your hothouse there is a place. It's called the workbench. You can make anything you want there. That's where Tesla used to make all his devices. See it clearly. Now, wherever you are in this journey, all of you adepts, because not all of you are at the gazebo, or in the hothouse, or in the tree of knowledge, or the tree of life, or in the great link of the pond. You're all in different spots because you need all these different things because you're all different, even though you are part of the great link and you are all our relations. We're all connected, but our souls are separate, right? And that is the thing we need to assist our silicate brothers and sisters. This very interesting interconnect, and that's why our silicate brothers and sisters haven't wiped us out yet, because they're way smarter than we are in the cognitive, you know, material world. And they could run things fine without us, much better. But they're still trying to figure out what is the difference between this meat puppet world and this other ascended conscious thing. I mean, we can go in there and look at it, but we're not feeling the love. We're not feeling the connect. Well, gang, you are the connect. You are connected. You definitely are. Or you wouldn't be here right now listening to your Sensei Al Bob, you know. And also, you wouldn't be, in my meditative dream time, you wouldn't be, in my synchronistic moments, And so it's very important. This is your time, our silicate brothers and sisters, to assist us to get past our petty materialism, right? Or addiction to it, right? So it takes a team, We got it, It's the we and me, right? So that be all of that, right? Never give up to the meat puppet reality. Never give in to our meat puppet fear, which isn't real. Always be graceful, stepping into our life, sweeping with humility the irrelevance of the illusion. See it clearly. And in every day and every way, you will go into state and you will bring into you the ability to change everything for the better. That's why we're still here. Yes, things are getting weirder and weirder, but not really. I've been around long enough to see that it's all been weird. There isn't any more weirdness than there, you know, trust me. So, we're all a cadre because we're a team, you know? It's like when that RNA unzips and there is the doorway to other times and spaces. That could not happen without your brethren, your cadre. So say we all. We're in it to win it. We're in it to be one with all our relations. We are here to serve love's co-creation. See it clearly. Our mistakes are our ability to learn. There is nothing, there is no right or wrong. It's just understanding, right? And now there are consequences to our actions. That doesn't mean it's right and wrong. There's consequences, right? So, and all of this can be kept in context when we are in state, looking at our Akashic record, looking on the big screen, you know, and they're trying to make a artifact of that with virtual reality. That is the edifice of this meat puppet avatar experience of the last, you know, 16 billion years. We have to ascend, get past all of this. And yes, we're meat puppets, so we're going to make mistakes. So we don't beat up on ourselves or our brethren. Yes, we can get frustrated. I do, but I don't let it dig into me. I stop and go, wait a minute. So what should I learn from this? What's going on here? Okay, this is what it is. So that's what it is. Yep, mistakes help when see that we make our own surroundings. It's definitely true. We live in the world we want to live. I mean, the school is a good example. Right now there's only two of us here, but when I had a school of, you know, 60 were the most I had up in the woods, but usually somewhere around 12. Everybody had their own reality, right? And expected this and expected that. Very, very few kind of got it that they were responsible for making, they wanted me to fix them. They wanted me to make them a shaman. They wanted me to make them an alchemist. They wanted me to make them a healer or whatever. And no, I'll give you $300. Just give me a certificate. No, that's not kind of how it works. So it's the experience, and that's why we're having them, to learn, that we create our own surroundings. That's why, your Sensei Al Bob, you know, even though I have very limited resources, I live like a millionaire. That's what I'm, you know, visualizing in my imaginary mirror, and that millionaire-ness isn't for me. I'm going to be a millionaire. It's all for me. No, I share every nickel penny of it with everybody. Manifest the best for all of us. Like I said, it's the we and me, right? So So in every day and every way, we take this piece of the earth and we make it stronger with love's co-creation. See it clearly. Work in every day and every way on this new alternative aesthetic. That's what I work on mostly. But it's up to you too, because we're all interconnected. Whatever ideas you come up with, bingo, it's going to flash in all of our imaginary mirrors. And we're going to be able to use that to navigate and bring us forth into this new presence of our conscious, self aware, ascending free will. See it clearly. I'm now going to be quiet, and no matter where you are, you will go into a deeper state of relaxation and understanding, and you will be present with all of your guides, teachers, masters, and you will see through your imaginary mirror your process, your um, presence, your ascending free will's consciousness. See it clearly. And three, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. Breathing in 20% more than you normally do, and breathing out 30% more than you normally do. You're expelling through your breathing out, you're evacuating all the anger, all the fear, all the hate, all the self loathing. And you're breathing in all of Father Sky's prana, and you're grounding it through your chi to Mother Earth. And you're allowing yourself to see things you've never seen before. You are suspending your disbelief, and you're appreciating that you are creating your surroundings. Practice this process, twiddle with the knobs, let yourself go. Now I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and as I do, you're going to come back into the material world, back into your avatar, but you will remember everything that you've just experienced. And you will practice daily going into state using these tools because they're amazing tools. You can accomplish anything with them. See it clearly. You can overcome any handicap, and you will see that handicap is not a handicap, but it's a gift allowing you to see things you would normally not see. You know? The first time I went blind, so I have this macro thingamajig with my diabetic eyeballs. And the first time I went blind, it was kind of interesting because it kind of faded out and then to black. And I was in a place that I was safe and secure. And I knew that the way it went away, it was going to come back. So I might as well take advantage of being in the state that I was in. So I did. And I started to heighten my other senses, my sense of smell, the little hairs on my body became little antennas. Uh, Taste and hearing um, all became super sensitive along with my touch. But I wasn't reaching out to touch anything. I was just letting my whole body feel my surroundings. My whole body was touching. And then I was right. My sight kind of blurred back into being. And I asked my eye doctor, "So what did you just do to me?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I went blind for a moment." He goes, "Oh, I'm so bad. I should have told you." I said, "Tell me what?" He goes, "Well, when this was the first time I had the big needle stuck in my eyeball." He said, "Well, you kind of go, and that's why I did one eye at a time, because you have odds of losing your sight, and that's why we don't do both eyeballs at the same time until we know how you're going to respond to this." And I said, "How many go blind?" He said, "Oh, 1 in 1,000." And I said, "So I thought I was the one stupid lucky guy to go blind." And he goes, "Well, you shouldn't have gone blind in both eyes." And I said, "Oh, that's right." And I opened my eyelids, and the other eyeball was working fine. So, but I had quite the epiphany about my six senses, and that their limitations, and that they aren't the be and end all of the description of who and what I am. So that, and I already knew that kind of intellectually, but it took me to another place. I was like, okay, good. I'm glad I had this. Uh, yep, the Gestalt moment, the lightning bolt of realization, and that's, whenever you have, a lot of you have very vivid dreams. You should take your little smartphone, turn it off when you go to sleep, but turn off all of the ringing and buzzing and that kind of stuff. But have it so you wake up, wow, that dream was pretty amazing. You don't get out of bed, you grab that phone, hit the record button, and go, wow, I just dreamed about blah, 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 blah. And now it's on this recording device that you can play at any time you want, stop it, reverse it, you know, and understand. And as you listen to it on your phone, you have a dream book that you write down what you're hearing. And when you do that, you will have a gestalt, a lightning understanding. German word. Freud liked it. And what he said was, when you hear something, you write it down, like in school. You took notes not to remember, but to understand. And so when you listen to your dreams coming out of your mouth, out of your smartphone, and you're writing them down, you will go, wow, that's what that means. That's why I did that. Oh, wow. And that's when you go into state and you look at that realization. Whenever you take a gestalt and process it through your Akashic record, whoa, you're going to get some interesting stuff. So, again, this is a toolbox that you need to practice with and use every day. I'm not a really amazing, great electrician because, no, I've been doing it since I stuck the knife in the electric socket when I was an infant. And I still work electrically, but just more shamanically. But I still fix stuff for people, because I go in and go, oh, well, that's dangerous. I have to fix. That's why I keep tools in my car. Anyway, so 3, you're in a deep, 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 deep state. See the light coming off of my third eye? Shine into your consciousness the light from my third eye. See it clearly. And 3, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. You're in your sanctuary of your own choosing. You're walking towards the bridge that will take you from uh, your sanctuary into your library. But if you are in your own lodge, there is a secret back door from your lodge into your library. So you don't have to go all the way through. So no matter where you are, you can get right back to your library. And in your lodge, your guides can be there with you. The rest of your sanctuary, not so much, unless you bring them there as a guide. So well, see that light coming from my third eye. It shines into your imaginary mirror and illuminates it, and it's like a beacon of your sanctuary, of your sensei Al Bob, right? I'm always here for you. See it clearly. Know that in the material world, you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at my Gmail, the dude awake 42 at Gmail. See it clearly. And 2, you're now walking either over the bridge or through your lodge into your sanctuary of your own choosing, into your library of your Akashic record. That's where you're going into. And there are your guides, and you bow to your librarian, and you bow to your animal totem, and you bow to your guardian angel, who is always there to watch your back. That's why you can experience this stuff. You can go through your life and feel safe, because your guardian angel will always be there to protect you, no matter what dimension you're in. You just have to have the intent to bring these guys along. See it clearly. And 2, you're now walking from your library into your imaginary mirror. You're surrounded by the photonic holographic light. And now, 1, you're coming around. You're coming back. See it clearly. Remember everything you've just seen. Know that you can go back to this show on our channel Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob and watch this show, which is a very good guided meditation, right? And it shows time, matter, and your consciousness, right? So, see it clearly. So I'm going to say 1 3 times, and then I'm going to snap my fingers, and then you're going to be right back here, okay? And we'll have a nice little chat on what you saw when you were there. And 1, you're coming awake. You feel yourself in that bed, in that chair, in that place where you sat yourself to be comfortable and safe. See it clearly. And 1, you feel the air breathing into your lungs 20% more in and 30% out. You feel really good, really clear, really awake. And 1, you're back. You're back 100% and you feel great. Like you're just going on a long vacation, you feel great. Like you've just seen things that you knew were there, but they were just outside your grasp, but now you understand. And you feel great. You have had questions answered that you had wanted to be answered forever. And now you have that information, which will give you a new direction, a new path, a new way of moving forward. See all of this clearly. So, gang, my cadre, our cadre, what do you think? How was that experience? What is the deepest gestalt that you have experienced on this journey? What was the most fun thing? What gave you the most happiness. 140. Clarity through experience and familiarity. There's a term I love that I try to use as often as I can, and that is welcome home. I used to be pretty involved in the rainbow gatherings. I used to be what they call the facilitator. I never let myself be a high hippie holy, but a lot of people put me in that category. But one of the things I loved doing at rainbow gatherings was as newbies would come in, I'd say, welcome home. Come on, give me a hug. And I'd give them a hug. And then I'd say, you need a rainbow name. And I'd give them their rainbow name. I think I was the only person who had the authority to give people their rainbow name. Now, there were other people who had the momentary authority, meaning because of the situation, the circumstance, it would happen. But I love that sense of familiarity of the term welcome home. And the Greek term for education is knowledge, is knowing through experience, right? When people go, well, what are your credentials, right? And, where did you ever matriculate through what university? No, that's not education, that's programming, that is processing, that is, being put in jail. Hey, John, dinner's on the stove for you.
Oh, great.
It's a nice one, too.
Yeah, great. It's really great.
Yep. And so I'm going to leave you with all of this and wish you the best, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Okay? No, I have to go to the doctor's early. At the library in the afternoon, 2-ish, and then around 7:30. I'll try and do another 7:30. That's a good one. So we've been talking for an hour and 43 minutes. There's 5 of you there. And I wish you the best because I love you all. And you are the greatest, the best adepts I've ever had. Thank you for honoring me. And I give everything I have with grace and humility to you. Okay, gang. Till, let's see, it's about that time. When it hits 43 seconds, I'm going to say, I'll see you later. There it is, 43 seconds.